Other than this little notebook that I'm going to be using this year for a bunch of lists and random notes, I'm also going to be using this Undated planner. So I actually designed this planner myself and I sell it in my shop that I can link in the description. And I like to use two planners or two notebooks because I use them for very different things. Like I said before, I use this one for a lot of random lists and notes and doodles, and this is more of like take with me, do whatever I want with journal. And this, although very similar, as you will see, has its own different features that I like to use in different ways. So I'll talk about the notebook first, and this is like a green olivey color. I went through a couple different colors when I was ordering them to get printed, and this is the one that I ended up liking the most. It's a little bit more muted. It has a black band, and it is a soft cover notebook. We do have a band, and the band really does help when you have like stickers in here or sticky notes that you just threw in here. It does kind of help keep everything together. So I liked that addition. And then I added the cover, or I added the title, Plan Your Way, in this gold foil, which I think is nice. So when you first open up the notebook, you kind of are greeted with the intro of what's in here. 213 pages. This is a 13th month planner or undated planner. So you can do the whole year. You can start whenever you want, doesn't really matter. It has a year overview, year list, and year grid, month spread, month overview, week plan, bill, and habit log. And I'll go through what those are. I also wrote up here that it has grid collections and dot collections. And what that means to me is just pages of dots and pages of grids where you can do whatever you want. You can collect lists or favorites or photos, whatever. I just call them the grid dot collection pages. So you get 1, 2, 3 blank dotted pages, and you get 1, 2 blank grid pages. You can do any type of collections here that you want. And then you're greeted with the year overview. So with this spread, you have 1 through 31 on each edge here for the days of the month, and you have each month on top. And then you have another year overview that is a little bit more structured for just daily tracking. You can do mood tracking and things like that here. Another similar one where you can do where you have the whole month, and it's actually numbered this time throughout the whole way, so you can kind of just highlight it if that's something you want to do. This is what the month spread looks like. So it's just a grid. It's pretty straightforward. You got 1 through 12 here, Monday through Sunday here, and it's gridded in the background. And then the next page after that is another monthly list, 1 through 12 here, 1 through 31 here, and you can do with these spreads whatever you'd like. And then you have your bill sheet and your habit log. You can track all of your bills, and here you can write in all of your habits that you want to keep track of every day, week, and month. So this gets repeated 13 times. But then you go to the end part, and this is where you get your weekly spreads. You have everyday Monday through Sunday once again, and I actually have here written 5 a.m. to 12 a.m. Obviously everyone has their own schedules, but I write 5 through 12 here, and then these dots, I'll go over what you can do with this if you want to. And that's pretty much it. You have your whole year to use this, or you can use it throughout multiple years, or you can use it as a setup type of notebook where you're too scared to write in your regular dotted notebook. So you can use this to plan that out, or maybe you just don't want to do all that work and you don't want all that structure. You can use this to kind of help you guide it out and have a little bit of structure, a little bit of guidance without wasting a bunch of pages. I actually have here in one of these gridded layouts the different pens that I use. I kind of just scribbled in there. It's not pretty, it's not like anything special. I just doodle in here with the marker, and then I wrote what it is, and I use this specifically so I can see what marks over through the other side and what doesn't. Obviously this is alcohol-based marker. So they usually are going to be pretty heavy and bleed through, but all the other ones worked really well, so I can use them freely in my notebook. I keep this here. It's kind of like a sticker backing paper. So if anything does bleed through, it'll catch on here, but there was no issue with it. One of the first spreads I have in here is a yearly overview. So I just have January through December. I have the travel, events, and doctor appointments kind of on here with some color coordination. So it's a really good way to mark your travel or any events that are going on throughout the whole year and you want to look at all at once. If you have a lot of doctor appointments, I would really recommend doing this for doctor appointments because you can put every doctor up here or the type of appointment and color coordinate that way so that you can keep track of that in something other than like an Excel spreadsheet or something. But obviously this isn't even real or legit for me. And you'll notice this, I don't take my planners very seriously, or I don't plan them too excessively. I mean, to some people's, degree, it is pretty excessive because there's some people who don't use planners at all. It changes and flows throughout the year, just like our days do. So if anything of these things change or aren't real, because that's not real, that's not real, that's not real, I mean, I just go over it. I put a sticky note there, I put a sticker or whatever, and it actually ends up looking nicer with all these little things sticking out, at least to me, whatever. So after this spread, I actually have this year log, which I use as a fitness log. So I only have all these stickers here because I messed up. I mean, I wouldn't have put them in here if I hadn't messed up. So I just wrote fitness log, and I have these grids of, tracking my weight and different measurements that I want to keep track of throughout the year. But here on this side is what I'm going to use to mark in every day that I've been active, whether it's 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is. If I've been active that day, I want to be able to put in a check mark. And so it's on the same spread and it's easy to reference. I have another similar one, but it's actually listed through all the numbers of the month. I went all the way to 31 for the whole year, even though I know a lot of these months have different days, because if you want to just cross these off and do your own thing, I want you to be able to do that. So I actually want to show you what the month looks like. Use this spread however you want, and I actually have a couple examples of how you can use this spread. There are a million out there, and I've seen so many different examples because you can really do with these whatever you want. So one example is obviously a month calendar. So I went through for January, I marked off the month, and I actually have a piece of washi tape so that when it's closed, I can really reference that throughout the whole year of washies. But I just have it numbered in with my pen. I have a couple stickers in here that I mark through, and I have some tape or some markers that I went through marking off some special events or timelines. And I usually don't plan forward this way. Quite honestly, I'll usually use a blank sheet of my blank dotted notebook, and I'll just do lists. As I've said before, I'm just a list person. So what I usually use these types of spreads for is for memory keeping, or I go back and write in the most important thing that day, things like that, where I want to keep track of and I want to see it in a spread, or maybe I'm just feeling really journaly that week. Then I can use one of these spreads for that. So I like doing different things different times. I can do this for a whole bill month. I can do this for a social media scheduling spreadsheet. It just depends on what I want to do that day that I'm journaling. Another example of this I actually have for February is I just used stickers to write in all the months or all the days, and that's it. I mean, again, I can use this for journaling, for memory keeping, whatever it is, but you can do it with your pen, you can do it with stickers, you can do whatever you want. So there's that option. And then actually, another one I found useful was a workout schedule. So if you have a very specific workout plan, which I don't keep, but I would like to, you can actually put the whole set list in a spread like this. kind of like a weekly spread. So Monday, all of Monday you do this, all of Tuesday you do this. I haven't done the research for, you know, upper body, but whatever. The point is, you can list out different workouts you want to do for that day, and then you can write a summary of what it is. You can write how many you actually got done, what weights you did, whatever, etc. So that's one option for the monthly spread. Another one is actually a classroom or a school journal. So I don't teach anymore and I don't go to school anymore, but hopefully I'm learning every day. But you can write in the different classes or topics and write in the homework for that whole week. So you can go in on Monday, and it's kind of like the workout one where you go in on Monday, you're like, okay, this is what I'm doing Monday, this is what I'm doing Tuesday. So after this page, you actually have a monthly blank list page, an overview. So again, you can highlight up here what month it is and maybe write it here. Maybe you can write your goals here, whatever it is, and a whole list of what you're doing that month if you don't want to do it this way, or if you're using this for something else. So I actually used it as an example, just as for the month of January. So I actually highlight the weekends. I messed up on the 6th, oh well. So far what I've got, some of my goals for that month, I can write notes here, it's whatever. After this page, we actually go over to this page. This is one of my favorites. I think it's one of the most useful, like, guided sheets of this whole planner, and it goes after every month. So my example of that is right here. For my bills, I have the different things that I owe, and here you would write probably, I'd assume, the totals, what you're spending, what you made, and the difference. I actually highlighted every day with the bank that it comes out of automatically, but a lot of people might have different bills on different days of the month, so you can schedule that out here, or if you have many on the same day and they'll leave the bank at the same time, you can do that here and schedule it on the day that it comes out, things like that. So you don't need to use the numbers for really anything if you don't want to, obviously, but it is helpful for some people, so I wanted to include that. And then for my habit log, I write down here the things that I want to track every day, vitamins, activity, reading, whatever it is that I want to do every day. And then I'll just go in every day and give it an X and just mark through what I've actually accomplished that whole day. And then it looks really nice, all filled in. And then you have your weekly spread. So taking out the trash, whatever it is you got to do that week, every week, I would put here and then mark that off. And the same with your monthly, just sending the invoices, whatever it is that you have to do that month, cross it off at the end of the month. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy. I've been saying it a lot that it's pretty straightforward, but that's just because it is. I mean, I designed it to be easy to use, and hopefully if you do use this planner, it is easy for you to use. But these are the same types of ideas and things you can do in absolutely any journal, so you can take the ideas however you would like. Now, after 13-month spreads like that, you actually get to the weekly spreads. So the weekly spreads are all at once, all together, and this is what they look like. So generally what you can do here, it's just Monday through Sunday. I've been doing this type of spread for years, and I'll show you what my 2020 journal is like, where I did this manually. I do have a first version of this planner. I used this in different ways as well, but I wanted to show you where that idea came from. And I've seen a lot of people use that type of spread, like a lot. So it's not my idea, but I wanted to include it in the Undated Planner because I use it all the time in so many different ways. So this just blank journal is where I really started using it the most. For example, spreads like this one where it's just vertical like this, I really found helpful. I even did it this way so that it's kind of vertical but only half because I wasn't doing much that week. Whatever. So things like that I noticed was helpful for me and for a lot of other people, so I wanted to also include it in this version of the planner. So one way that I use it is like this. So just using my pen, I'm not going crazy with it. I'm just highlighting in my morning routine, the time I want to wake up about, things that I'm doing that month or that week, I mean. And I actually have these boxes here where you can track whatever it is that you want. Now, let me show you the blank sheet so you can see it a little better. I just have these blank boxes. So you might be like, what do I do with that? And I didn't label it anything because I didn't want you to feel forced to use it for whatever you want. There are 10 boxes. So I had in mind that if you wanted to track a goal, like 1,000 steps a day, whatever your goal is, you can have a percentage you can use to track. So 10%, 20%, 30% of your goal can be crossed in here. Maybe your goal is to do 10 push-ups a day. I don't know. So you can write in the percentage that you did. I did 1 push-up, 2, whatever it is. I left it pretty open for you to cross in and label however you want. Here I labeled it for water. So my goal, let's say, is 8 to 10 cups of water a day. So you can do that here. You have your goals list here, your to-do list here, and your notes that you can use this whole bottom section for. I also did a version where I just used the stickers to label in the days of the week and some more washi tape just to do the early morning routine thing, and who knows what I'm going to do that week. So I just left that blank for now. But another way that you can use this spread, and like I said, there are so many that if you skip a week or whatever, you have extras, or you just don't feel like doing it that week, or you're using a different planner that week, whatever it is, you can use it for a bunch of different things. So I actually use it a lot for a meal planner, and I'll just write in breakfast, lunch, dinner, kind of some ideas that I want to eat for that day. I'll put up here what I need to remember to include in most of my meals that day: protein, vegetable, fruit, stuff like that. And then I actually use these boxes to track those things. Like I want a certain amount of vegetables, servings of vegetables that day, a certain amount of fruits that day. So I'll write that in, and I can color that in if I hit that mark. And I can see if I'm hitting that mark throughout the day because I listed out what my plan is to eat that day. And then when I'm doing my groceries for that week that I planned out, I can look and see, okay, well, I don't have this, so I'll write it here. And I can write my grocery list on the left side and then go to the grocery store. Easy to do. So obviously you can use these for anything else. You can use it for homework. You can schedule out your day specifically. That's why I do have here the the time of day. Some people I have seen use this notebook and write in their gratitude in this way, and every day is just in their little column, or a scripture every day, or even just fill the whole page with notes because they didn't want to plan that day and they just wrote over everything with just their own thoughts. And that's why I try to make sure that these lines aren't too thick or heavy, so that you really can write over it with your favorite pen or marker and it's still going to be legible to you. So that's kind of the overview of this. And like I said, I use this all over the place. Like I don't use this as a planner, like daily scheduling out. If I did that, I would just have a dated planner for that year. That's just not how I work. I use these two things together or separately or whenever I feel like to really schedule out the thing that I want to do for that month or day or week. And it helps me by the end of the year. If you find something like this useful or you want to get one of your own, I do have them available at my shop, and you can get one there. I also have digital versions of these spreads on my shop that you can download and print if you just want to test it out, because I think that's useful. Sometimes I just want to use one sheet. I don't need the whole book. Obviously, I would need the whole book, but some people might not. I'm really excited to use this for the rest of the year and see like all the other different ways that they can be used for, especially together with my other notebook that I can just fill in and put whatever in. Thanks for watching.